episode of Creative Writing Advice with me, JJ Barnes. If you don't know me, I'm JJ. I am the author of How to Write a Story, which is out now on Amazon. And I'm over here on YouTube bringing you writing advice based on things that I have learned that I have found incredibly helpful in my career, hopefully with the intention of getting them out to you in a way that will make you feel confident and able to write your story. So today I'm going to be talking to you about why it's important to make your characters suffer. That sounds really horrible, so just go with me because I swear it is really important. So your conflict in your story, that is the central building blocks around which you are going to tell your story. So your protagonist, the character you are riding with, they want something. They go into action at the inciting incident when what they want becomes something they go after. So at the inciting incident, your character decides, I am going to go after the thing I want and try and get it. The conflict then needs to be active the entire way through your story until the climax, when they either get it and are satisfied or don't get it and have to accept it. So the conflict is something they want. So for instance, this could be they want a date to prom, it could be they want to stop a war, it could be they want to survive something terrible. But they want something and they are working towards that goal. Your conflict is then present in every single scene. Now, if you make it so easy your character can just go and get something they want, then they will. I'll just, look, I want this book. Here it is, right? That's not an interesting story. You need to make it hard. You need to put obstacles in their way. The antagonist is the character who is essentially the obstacle. That antagonist goes into motion at the same time as the inciting incident, and they are locked in conflict. The antagonist will be working the entire way through the story to stop your protagonist from getting what they want, either because they don't want them to have it for whatever reason, or they want the same thing, or your protagonist is working to stop the antagonist from getting what they want. But the point is, your antagonist and your protagonist are both in action to get something that they want. They can't both have it, and they are in conflict the whole way through. So if your protagonist finds it really, really easy to get what they want, and the antagonist just loses, your story's over. So you have to try and make your conflict all the way through. And the way you do this is to make it hard. Make it so your protagonist has to push and fight the whole time. Any single scene, that a conflict needs to be relevant and important to them. Now, they won't always be high stakes, high intensity fighting because your story would be exhausting. But it needs to be prevalent in their minds, whether it's in the conversations they are having and the information they're trying to learn, the confidence they're trying to gain to do something, or in a high stakes fight, what they want and their goal needs to be the point of your story. If your protagonist isn't working for anything, isn't trying to achieve anything, they're just living and existing, your story will be flat and dull, and your audience will have no point being there. So it has to be hard, and it has to be something that they are constantly trying to overcome. And you keep your story interesting and moving by throwing obstacles and challenges in their way the whole time. And the way you use it is your character will then grow and change and learn. Because if we aren't suffering and we aren't struggling and things are very, very easy for us, we have no reason to change or grow because we've got everything. We don't need to improve ourselves if everything is working out perfectly for us, because why would you change what's working? So you have to make it so your character has to learn and improve themselves, change and grow with your story. They are impacted with your story, and every obstacle that is thrown in their way, they have to learn a little bit more until the end and the climax, and that is when you can have them achieve their goal. They can get what they want because all the way through the story they have been bumped and struggled and suffered and fought until they learn enough and are strong enough or accomplished enough or confident enough to finally get what it is they want. But the suffering from the start is really, really key to doing that. Because if we're not suffering, we have no reason to try and change. If we don't want something so much that not having it hurts, why are we following this story? You want them to want it desperately, or the story isn't important. You want them to suffer for it or the story is important, and they won't change and grow with the story. That arc, that humanity of your character keeps your audience grounded in them, and it shows why it matters. And the suffering can be small. It doesn't have to be like being beaten up or stabbed or, you know, tortured. I'm not saying that, but it has to be something that has enough pain in them if they don't have it, and they are willing to go through pain to get it. So throw obstacles in their way. The moment they go into action, they decide there's a thing they want, make it hard, make them fight for it. Because if they're just passively around like, well, there's nothing I really want, and if I don't get this thing, it doesn't really matter, meh, your story will be meh. You don't want a meh story. You want a story that people care about and want to read. You want them to want to get to the end. You want them to root for your character, and you want them to be interested in whether they get what they want at all. Meh gets you nowhere. If your character is feeling meh, your story will feel meh. No meh. I just said meh like 1,000 times. But the point is, the conflict being active, the suffering being there. Give them an emotional response, make them be in pain, have them heartbroken over the person they can't be with so that your audience knows they want them. Have them suffering desperately to get the thing they want so that your audience can see that it matters. And have them grow and change and develop who they are, overcome the struggles, fight through it, suffer for it, so that the story has stakes and the story matters, or nobody will care if they get it or not. Right. Very intense then. So yes, your character's suffering will keep your story moving, will keep it entertaining, it will make the character grow and change and have an arc that makes them interesting. We all suffer, we all want things and suffer for them. You know, if you don't have the thing you want, it troubles you. And human pain and human suffering, however awful it is something that unites us as a species. We've all been sad, we've all had pain. And your characters are supposed to be human, like your readers. So if they aren't suffering, and if they are just completely everything is easy and perfect, how are you supposed to relate to that? You can't, because that's not what humanity is like. So your story, the suffering your characters go through for the thing they want, will keep your audience invested and make your story really entertaining. Thank you very much for watching another one of my videos. Talk to me. Tell me about stories with suffering in that you love, or how you are making your characters suffer for their end goal. Because it's a really important part of storytelling, and I think that we should focus on it a little bit. Don't forget, if you subscribe to this channel, I'm putting out a video every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 9:30 in the morning. I cover all sorts of things, different writing advice. I also do an Ask Me Anything video series on a Monday where I answer lots of quick fire questions about different subjects. So come find me on social media, come find me on here. Talk to me about your ideas. If you go to my website, it's jjbarnes.co.uk, and over there you'll find links to everything I've got going on. And yeah, we will be a big, wonderful writing community of people discussing writing ideas and stuff, and that is a wonderful thing to be part of. So thank you. I'll be back again soon. Bye.